What's up, everybody? This is Jeremy over here at Backcountry and Beyond. It's Wednesday. It's time to do some grilling, as always. Those of you who frequent the store, you probably already know that we demo cook on these Traegers every Saturday. We like to experiment with a lot of different recipes, but one thing that we always cook every single weekend is chicken breast. I think chicken breast is just a great thing to cook here as an example at the store. Most people are used to having chicken breast off the grill that's just dried out and chewy. The Traeger just makes it easy to get that perfect, juicy, tender chicken breast every time. I have a lot of people that come in here and they ask me, you know, how did you prepare this chicken breast? You know, how'd you get it so flavorful and so juicy? I'm going to show you that today. I'm going to show you exactly how I prep our chicken here at the store every Saturday. And I think you're going to be quite surprised at just how easy it is, how little effort is actually involved. So let's go ahead and get right to it. I've already got my ironwood out here preheated. I've got it set at 225 on super smoke. And this whole process for cooking these chicken breasts the way I do them usually takes about an hour. But one thing that's really important to remember, I know because I've done this several times, that it usually takes about an hour, but that can vary. So always remember, you're not going by time, you're going by the internal temperature of the meat. That's what matters, and that's when it's done. You don't just cook it for an hour and just assume that it's perfect. You don't eyeball it, you use a probe. You use a probe every time, and that's how you achieve the perfect cook every time. So let's get right to it. I've got some boneless, skinless chicken breasts that I picked up earlier at the grocery store. I'm going to show you everything that I do with these here at the store. So these are already trimmed, but as you can see, sometimes there's a little bit of extra stuff left over there. They're not always trimmed the cleanest right out of the package, so I like to go ahead and just any of these little extra bits like this white little stringy fat like this, I want that off of there. I don't want any of that on my chicken. So I'm just going to clean this up a little bit better real quick. Alright, so these are ready as far as that goes. We've got the hardest part out of the way already. And you don't really have to do that. I mean, typically they're going to be trimmed down well enough where you're not going to have too much of that extra junk left over. But for me personally, I just want it to be as clean as possible before I do anything with it. So I'm going to show you how we prep these here at the store when we cook them. No marinade required, no meat mallet required. It's still going to be amazingly juicy and flavorful. So all I'm going to do is I'm literally just going to take a little olive oil. I'm just going to put a nice even coating of olive oil on each one of these chicken breasts. This will help your seasoning to stick better. And this just also kind of gives a better texture to the outside of the chicken, just a better kind of feel when you bite into it. It's just better, trust me. Just put a little bit of olive oil on there. You won't be sorry. Or canola oil, or whatever kind of oil you like to use. I always like to use some really good quality extra virgin olive oil. And you can always tell the quality of your olive oil by the color. If you're buying olive oil and it's yellow, I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but that's not the best quality olive oil. It should have a green tint to it. That's the good stuff. That's the first cold press, the really good stuff. Trust me on that. It's worth it to spend a few extra bucks and get some good quality olive oil. So that's it, olive oil on there, and then just whatever you like to season it with. So I'm going to do one of these with the Summer Shandy rub. If you watched my video a couple weeks ago, I did a video about all the different Traeger rubs we sell. I use this one here pretty much exclusively on chicken. This goes awesome on chicken. So go ahead and cut it down pretty well on either side. Chicken breast is a cut that on its own really doesn't have a lot of flavor. So if you don't season it pretty well, it's going to be pretty bland. Not going to taste all that great. So go ahead and hit it with a pretty good portion of seasoning. That one's ready. I'm going to hit this second one with some thin and feather rub. This is a personal favorite of mine. I absolutely love this stuff. I use it on chicken all the time. Fish, I've had this on salmon, scallops. I put it on veggies sometimes. I also like to use this on pork. I love putting this on a pork tenderloin. This is just awesome stuff. Anyway, same thing. Just some olive oil and some seasoning, and that's literally it. You really don't have to go too fancy with these. Really, the secret weapon here is the Traeger. Being able to just set that temperature. You don't have to worry about flare-ups. You don't have to worry about scorching your chicken. And having that built-in meat probe, I'm going to go ahead and just probe one of these and set an alarm, and it's going to push a notification to my phone, so I know that these are going to be perfectly cooked every time, no matter what. Alright, we're seasoned up, we're ready for the grill. Let's go ahead and get them cooking. Alright, 225 degrees. If you've got the super smoke feature, go ahead and use it. I'm going to throw these on the grill. I'm going to probe one of them. I've already got my meat probe ready here. So I'm just going to go into the thicker part of this breast. Just like that. Chicken's on the grill. As soon as you plug in the probe, it's going to ask you if you want to set an alarm. Of course, I'm going to choose yes. I'm going to set my alarm at 150. Now, some of you are probably cringing already. You're like, what? 150? You're going to pull chicken at 150? No, I'm not going to pull it at 150. I like to pull my chicken at 160, and then it'll rest for a few minutes, and it'll finish coming up to 165 as it rests. The reason I set my probe alarm to 150 is because that's the point where I want to be on top of it. Once they hit 150, I want to be standing here at the grill, right on top of them, because the last thing you want to do with chicken is overcook it. That's how you get that rubbery, dried out chicken, because it is very easy to overcook chicken on the grill. And that's the advantage of having the Traeger with that indirect heat. You're not going to burn up the bottom of the chicken, and that meat probe is going to make sure that you cook it to the perfect internal temperature every time. So yeah, and you know what else? The heat index is like 99 degrees out here today, and I don't really want to spend any more time than I have to out here. So I'm just going to wait for the alarm on my phone. I'm going to go sit inside in the AC. Alright, so I've been smoking these chicken breasts for about half an hour now. I haven't checked the temp yet. That's really not that important yet. If I had to guess, we're probably somewhere close to about 120 internal. This is the point where I like to go ahead and crank the temp up. You know, I've tried a lot of different methods cooking chicken breasts on the Traeger. I've smoked them all the way through. I've done them at 450. I've done this, I've done that. But for me, I've found that this is my personal favorite method. I like to smoke them for half an hour, super smoke if you got it, and then crank the temp up to 375 and just cook them till they're done. So you'll get that smoke ring, you'll get that nice smoke flavor that you want, but then by finishing them off at 375, you're also going to get more of that kind of caramelization on the outside, a little better texture, better bite. It's just a better flavor that way. So go ahead and crank the temp up. We're at 117 degrees internal, so I was pretty close on that. 375 degrees, and all I gotta do now is go back inside and wait for my meat probe alarm to push a notification to my phone, and I'll be ready to come out here and get these chicken breasts off the grill. All right, I just got my alarm pushed to my phone, so I know that we're at 150 on at least one of these 2 chicken breasts. So this is the point where you need to be close to the grill. You'd be surprised how quickly a chicken breast can go from 150 to 160. It can happen just in a matter of a couple minutes. So you really need to be on top of it. I want to get these off the grill as soon as they hit 160. I don't want to leave them on there. I want them to be perfectly cooked. So I'm also at this point going to start testing them with my instant read. I always do this. I just like to use it as a backup just to be sure. So I'm gonna go ahead and check these real quick and compare them with the instant read. So I'm getting 150. You see, I told you my alarm just went off right at 150. I'm already up to 156. So that's a good point of reference right there. The temp's coming up quick. So let's go ahead and check them with the instant read. The smaller one of the 2 has already reached 158. So it's almost ready to come off. Again, this is why I can't stress it enough. Go ahead and set that probe alarm a few degrees lower than what you want to actually cook it to. That way you can get out here and you can stand right here with it and be right on top of it as you finish up the cook. The last thing you want to do with a chicken breast is overcook it. So we're just going to hang out here and just keep checking these things until they're done, ready to pull. All right, we just hit 161 on this little one. So again, you see how quick these last couple minutes go by. It doesn't take any time at all. So this one's coming off. I'm gonna tint this loosely. Don't wrap it up tight, just tint it loosely in foil. We're gonna let that rest for about 5 to 7 minutes before we cut into it. We've done a video on resting meat before too, the whole science behind it. Long story short, if you really want your meat to be juicy all the way through, you always have to rest it first. Don't be tempted to take it off the grill and cut straight into it. Let it rest. And now we're probing 160 on the big one, so it's time to take it off too. Remember, this probe is hot. Don't touch it. Again, tinted loosely in foil. Loose side. Let those rest for 5 to 7 minutes, and they're going to be juicy and delicious when you cut into them. Of course, we're going to let you see that too, but that's going to be a few minutes, so we'll be back in just a few. Alright guys, it's been about 6 or 7 minutes since I pulled these chicken breasts off the grill. So they've been resting long enough now. We're going to go ahead and check them out, cut into them, and see how we did on this cook. Of course, we already know they're going to be perfect because we cooked them to temp, like always. But, picks or it didn't happen, right? So there's our chicken. I'm going to go ahead and show you a little sneak peek here, just to give you an idea. You see what's down there in the bottom of this little foil packet. Look at all that juice. Now tell me that's not going to be a juicy chicken breast right there. And of course, I never waste this stuff. That's flavor right there. I don't want to let that go to waste. Now, for the moment of truth. Let's see what they look like on the inside. You know it's cooked right when the knife slides through there like butter. Let's see, check that out. That is some juicy chicken right there. That is perfect. And that is how you get perfectly cooked, juicy, tender chicken breast off the grill every single time. Really all you need is a Traeger. People laugh when we tell them that, like, oh, somehow this grill is gonna magically make my chicken come out better. Well, it's true. I mean, it really does. It just plain works. So try it out. Highly recommend it. You're gonna love it. You're gonna eat a lot more chicken off the grill than you probably used to. If you want to try out some food like this, come see us at the store on Saturday around lunchtime. We cook out every single Saturday, rain or shine. We're gonna have food coming off at noon. Check back with us next week for another grill tip video. Most importantly, thank you guys for watching. Look us up, social media, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. We'll have the tags at the end of the video, just like always. And we'll see you next time.